Hi, I'm Rachel with Stirring the Deep, and I want to share something with you that was very encouraging to me. In my quiet time a couple days ago, I was reflecting upon how the Israelites, when they were getting ready to move into the Promised Land, into that next level of abundant life with God, that they were up against all these giants. And it wasn't just that the men in that land were giants, which they were, but they were trained warriors. And there were these fortified cities and well-established nations with lots of resources. And here are these little Israelites coming out to conquer them. And if you looked at the physical reality, it was crazy because they were so much stronger. So to go into that land and to conquer them would be a destiny for the Israelites. And that's why that first generation opted to stay in the desert, because they were too fearful, because they were focused on that physical reality. The second generation of Israelites had a different perspective. They had the same exact situation, were up against the same thing, but they chose to focus on one, God's faithfulness in the past and how he had delivered them and how he was true to his word, and focus on his promises and the fact that he said, I will deliver you and I will be with you and I will fight for you. And that's exactly what he did. It was amazing how he cleared the way for them and established them in that land. Well, when I was thinking about all of this, I realized, this is what we're all facing today. So many of us have these huge giants in our lives in terms of our job, relationships, our health, our finances. And for God's kids, God is with us. They are a very physical reality. They are real, these giants. And the truth is that God is very real in our lives. And he's very powerful. And a lot of us have stripped him of that power from our lack of belief. And we need to get that back, because that's how we conquer the giants, is by that belief. And so we need to get the perspective that that second generation had of focusing on, look at what God has done. Look at all that he has done. Look at his promises to you, how many they are. Look at his love for you. And that comes into the point of, why are we even going through these giants in the first place? And it's because of his love. He loves you. And the foundation of love is trust. You can't really abide with someone in a bond of love unless there's trust there. And this whole time is revealing, who do we really trust? Is it in ourselves or the resources of this world? Or is it in God, who is unlimited in what he can do in our life? And it's living with that conviction. And trust gives us that ability to say, you know what, I'm walking and I'm trusting and I'm making my decisions based on God and not fear. And so when we walk in that trust and we develop that trust with God, then we are in a bond of love with him, which is all about. And trust isn't an instant thing, nor do any of us trust perfectly, because it's a process that happens over time as we abide in his word and we get to know him, and then we step out and walk in his ways, and we see that goodness and deliverance. Then we continue a little more, and as we do that, the fruit of that is trust. And the fruit of that trust is the love. So you see how it kind of all plays out. So that's kind of why we're going through all of this. That's why our trust is being tested and tried, because it's so fundamental to our relationship with God. The other part about this is exciting, is that God wants to show himself as God to you, to me, to this world. And he wants to do it through our lives. So for him to show his might and deliverance means that we're going to need deliverance. Means we're going to need his strength and his help. And that means we're going to be in situations where we're going to feel that need, just like the Israelites. They didn't have all that strength and ability when they went into that land. They had to trust God, but they did, and he delivered them. And it was all about what God had done, not what they did. And so this is all about God revealing himself and his power to us. So I just think it's very encouraging. So when you look at those giants in your lives, in your life. Remember, get that perspective that, God's with you. Look at the past, see how He's delivered you, and move forward with Him and trusting Him and walking that life with Him, and see His deliverance in your life, because it is so incredible to see Him work so intimately with you and to see that power in your own life. I hope it was encouraging to you as it was to me. But until next time, keep stirring the deep, because it's the one thing that changes everything else.